The bold prediction segments, we did them all of August. I just asked, if you had to bet money, what would you bet your money on? Give me some bold predictions. Well, we got 4 of them tonight that I rated 8 or higher on the boldness scale. Let's see if any of them hit. The first one did not. I had no confidence in Nathan's prediction. God bless you, Nathan. I just did not believe in this. He said Georgia's defense will be better statistically than last year after the regular season. Well, here we are. We have concluded the regular season, and Georgia, they gave up 10.2 points per game last year. They gave up 12.8 this year. Still phenomenal. 9.5, my bad, 9.5 points per game last year. It was just unrealistic to think that that historical unit was going to be topped by this year's unit. So you see the passing statistics, that's really what fell off even more precipitously. Rushing yards per game a little bit better this year than last year. But I put a 9.25 on this. I just thought it was a little too bold. And Nathan, it was. Here's the good news. You still got the number 1 overall team in the country. They're still favored to win a back-to-back national championship. And we will see them, I think, against their toughest offensive test of the year this Saturday night in Atlanta. Next up, let's go to the Big Ten. This one was doomed from the outset. Wisconsin goes 11-1 and becomes the first Big Ten East school to win the conference title game since 2012. That should say Big Ten West. It wasn't my tweet. I have no control over it. It would have been one thing if you told me they're going to win the West. That's fine. They were not winning the Big Ten. And here's how I know this. Because the next team from the West that wins the conference will be the first team from the West that wins the conference. It's never happened. Totally lopsided in the Big Ten right now. They were plus 1,000 to win the conference in preseason. They ended up going 7-6. The Big Ten West, there was never a team that even thought about emerging over there as a legitimate threat. And that was the entire story of the Big Ten this season. There's nothing more to say. I put a 9 on that, and I was absolutely on the money. It wasn't that hard to see. I take a little credit for that. Next up, we go out to the West Coast. This one from Gatorfella was a little intricate, a little detailed here. He said UCLA will be one of the 2 teams in the Pac-12 conference title game. USC will not be the other. So what do we need here? We need Chip Kelly and company to crash the conference title game, and they can't play USC. And I put an 8.25 on that one. I was high on UCLA. They were the 4th odds-on favorite to win the Pac-12 in the preseason. So it wasn't crazy to think they'd play for the Pac-12 title game. The problem was USC was the favorite to win the conference, and for your prediction to come true, they can't even make the conference title game. This wasn't that far away from happening, though. If you'll recall, UCLA was in prime position. Even after they lost to Oregon, they were in prime position, but the week before they played USC, they lost to Arizona, then they lost to USC. Who knows? Whomst amongst us knows how differently things could have turned out. As it turns out, UCLA is at home on Conference Title Saturday. USC's there. They lose to Utah, but that one did not pan out. What about the ACC championship picture? How about this little prediction from August? North Carolina wins the ACC, and they go to the playoff. Watching from Lincoln, Georgia, home of the Red Devils and Garrison-Hurst. Well, that may be true, but this prediction was not. I gave this one a 9 on the boldness scale. North Carolina was plus 1,200 to win the ACC. Again, the prediction is not they're going to make it. They're going to win the conference title game. Well, they got there. I don't know if you agree with this, but I watched the team all year. They never felt like a legitimate threat to me. And they ended up playing for the conference title. They just never felt legit to me. And even if they did at some point in the year, man, they lost to Georgia Tech 3 weeks before the conference title game, or 2 weeks before the conference title game. Then they lost to NC State the week before the conference title game. Then they got blown out by Clemson, and there was never a time. Even when Clemson was faltering, there was never a time where I thought, yep, Mac Brown's going to do it this year. This is the time. This is the team. They never really got solid legs under them. Congratulations for making it to the conference title game, though. As for Penn State, we tried to find what grade I put on this prediction. We couldn't find it. Here's the prediction, though. Penn State has another above-average season, and people truly question the new James Franklin contract. Now, producer Jesse is not here tonight because producer Jesse, allegedly, thought he had booked an 8 a.m. flight to Nashville this morning. In reality, he booked himself an 8 p.m. flight. I guess he may be in the air right now. I don't know. But be that as it may, he did send me a little research packet today. So thank you, Jesse. Safe travels. And on this particular response, he got personal with it. And he said, well, Penn State didn't have an above-average season. They had a great season. They went 10-2. He used we a lot. We are going to the Rose Bowl. And we are not questioning James Franklin. In fact, we have a lot of hope. And then he capitalized all the letters in the word hope, whatever. And then he said, Drew Aller plus these running backs plus a solid defense equals Big Ten championship contenders next year. I made up that last part, but he believes it. I know him better than he knows himself. So no one's questioning James Franklin there right now. They are a program just like Florida State. They're not just like Florida State, but I am watching those two programs through the same lens of programs that no one's talking about on the national stage because there are bigger dogs in their own conference to focus on. But they keep steadily improving. And they've got some mojo working in the right direction. And it's going to be one of those things, at least I hope it is for their sake, it's going to be one of those things where they keep chopping. Kirby Smart talks about it all the time. Just keep chopping that wood. Greg Schiano used to talk about it all the time when Rutgers played like every Thursday night back in the day. Just keep chopping wood, keep chopping wood. It could be on the 10th stroke, it could be on the 38th stroke, but eventually that tree will fall. Unless the foreman comes and yanks you off the job, that tree will eventually fall. Or if your axe breaks. A lot of addendums to that, but if you keep chopping, sometimes good things can happen. Who knows? Maybe next year's the timber year. Put it on the t-shirt. No one else has said that about Penn State. So those were some bold predictions. Let's see, 1, 2, none of them came true. Bad night for bold predictions. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.